Have you ever wondered what it takes to build an empire where fear is the currency and loyalty the ultimate bond? Imagine a world where every whispered word carries the weight of legend, a world where the roar of engines mingles with hushed conversations in dark alleys. This is the story of Elliot Cisco Valderama, a man whose very presence could silence a room and whose life was a relentless cycle of power, betrayal, and control.
Hell's Angel, Cisco Valderama, Oakland leader, legend, anything else you want to call him.
Elliot Cisco Valderrama's rise was not the tale of a man who meekly joined a motorcycle club. It was the story of a man who seized control with the cold precision of a seasoned tactician. At gunpoint, he took his first club, not by invitation, but by force. In the grim underworld of Oakland, his name became synonymous with both terror and respect. From that fateful moment, a chilling mantra echoed in every smoky bar and deserted backstreet. Again and again, no one dares defy him. For decades, the hardened Hell's Angels of Oakland would lower their voices whenever his name was mentioned, a silent tribute to the magnetic dread he inspired. Born on December 1, 1941 in San Francisco, Elliot grew up amid the harsh realities of East Los Angeles. His upbringing in a world where diversity was a rarity, and acceptance even rarer, forged him into a fighter from an early age. As a half-Filipino misfit in a society that offered little sympathy for outsiders, young Cisco learned quickly that the power to command respect was earned not by words, but by actions. Whispers in dimly lit bars spoke of a kid who discovered early on that fear was a far more valuable currency than cash, a lesson that would shape every moment of his life.
Cisco was for peace. Now, proposing peace to Hell's Angels and any outlaw bike organization is not a real popular job, but, Cisco didn't help me a lot, but Cisco never interfered.
By the mid-1960s, Cisco's presence began to permeate the criminal underbelly. In 1965, he emerged in Santa Rosa, ostensibly working as a humble brick carrier for a local mason. But beneath that unassuming facade, Cisco was meticulously constructing a reputation that would soon eclipse his everyday life. He had a rare knack for controlling any situation. His mere entrance could lower the temperature in a room and send shivers down the spine of even the most hardened criminals. It wasn't long before his audacious methods caught the eye of Hollywood, leading to his surprising appearance in the film Hell's Angel 69. This wasn't a mere cameo. It was a declaration to both the underworld and the world of cinema that Cisco was the real deal, a man who embodied the very essence of Oakland.
He went to Oakland. He was in the movie Hell's Angel 69, and there's no way Oakland would have had him involved in that movie if he wasn't an Oakland member in good standing. They were very strict about who worked on that movie.
January 13, 1966, would mark a turning point in Cisco's storied career. On that day, he did not just join the Oakland Hell's Angels. He took command. The chapter he entered was no ordinary group. It was the most notorious, the most respected, and soon, the very kingdom over which he would preside. The Oakland Hell's Angels were known for their strict codes and unwavering loyalty, and they saw in Cisco the perfect blend of ruthlessness and calculated charm. While others might have crumbled under the pressure, Cisco's security company became a fortress, a guarantee that no Hollywood production or rival gang would ever dare challenge his might. For over 50 years, Cisco's influence grew as he meticulously crafted his empire. In a world where every move was measured, every glance calculated, he transformed fear into an art form. Again and again became his refrain, a mantra that underscored his dominance over both club politics and the streets of Oakland. His method was simple yet devastating. Control the room with an imposing presence, and let your enemies vanish as if by magic. It was a formula that worked in every setting, whether he was negotiating alliances in backroom meetings or safeguarding prized movie equipment on bustling film sets. Cisco's early years were marked by a series of dramatic events that would forever change the course of his life. His reputation was built on more than brute strength. It was constructed from the fragments of whispered rumors, half-truths, and legends passed down from one outlaw to another. In the unforgiving streets of East Los Angeles, stories abounded of a young man who could make problems disappear with nothing more than a steely gaze. These tales, recounted in hushed voices in seedy bars, hinted at a future where fear itself would become Cisco's most formidable weapon. As the years passed, the rise of Elliot Cisco Valderama became inseparable from the evolution of Oakland's underworld. The 1970s were a turbulent time, a period when rival gangs like the Outlaws and the Mongols clashed in violent battles for supremacy. Amid this chaos, Cisco emerged as a master strategist, navigating the storm with the precision of a chess grandmaster. Instead of rushing headlong into conflicts, he built alliances, gathering favors and constructing a network of influence that ensured his survival even in the most precarious situations. Inside the Oakland Hells Angels, politics were as brutal as the street fights outside. When internal strife threatened to splinter the club, Cisco's calm, calculating demeanor proved to be his greatest asset. While some members succumbed to the chaos, fighting over status and power, Cisco's focus remained unwavering. He understood that true power was not seized in a moment of rage, but was built slowly, piece by bloody piece, over time. His strategic brilliance allowed him to turn every setback into an opportunity, every betrayal into a stepping stone toward greater control. His influence was not confined to the dark corners of outlaw life. In Hollywood, directors and producers recognized the value of a man who could command respect both on and off the screen. Cisco's security company became the go-to force for protecting film sets and expensive equipment, a testament to his unyielding reputation. When his crew guarded movie studios, the mere knowledge of Cisco's involvement was enough to deter any would-be troublemakers. His dual life, balancing the ruthless codes of the underworld with the glimmering allure of Hollywood, crafted a narrative that was as enigmatic as it was powerful. Yet, for all his fearsome reputation, there was an undeniable human side to Elliot Cisco Valderama. Behind the steely exterior lay a man who managed to maintain a long-standing 52-year marriage, a rare anomaly in a world defined by fleeting alliances and transient loyalties. His wife, Joanne, was more than just a partner. She was a living testament to his ability to build lasting relationships in even the harshest environments. In the midst of club rivalries, internal strife, and the ceaseless battles of the outlaw world, Cisco's personal life offered a glimpse of the man beneath the legend, a man who valued loyalty and respect above all else. Cisco's story is replete with dramatic high points and bitter setbacks, moments when the stakes were life or death, and every decision carried monumental consequences. One infamous moment in his career came during a widely publicized 60 Minutes interview with Mike Wallace. Known for his reticence and calculated demeanor, Cisco found himself stumbling over questions about club rules. The fallout was immediate, months of cold shoulders and sharp criticisms from within his own ranks, yet even this misstep became a lesson in the art of survival. Cisco's ability to transform a public gaffe into an opportunity for growth only cemented his reputation as a master of the long game, a man who could turn every setback into another step toward absolute power. As the 1980s dawned, Cisco's empire continued to expand. The streets of Oakland were not just battlefields for rival gangs but also arenas where business acumen and brute force converged. His security company evolved into a veritable fortress, safeguarding Hollywood productions and earning the respect of some of the most influential figures in the film industry. Directors who once doubted his capabilities now sought his expertise, knowing that his methods were as reliable as they were ruthless. In a world where trust was a scarce commodity, Cisco's involvement was the ultimate guarantee of success. Yet the legacy of Elliot Cisco Valderama was never without controversy. His life was a constant dance on the edge of legality, a precarious balance between the legitimate and the illicit. At times the lines blurred, and his actions prompted heated debates among both allies and adversaries. In the complex interplay of club politics and criminal intrigue, every victory was hard-won, and every loss a lesson in the price of power. Cisco understood that in the brutal realm he inhabited, the only way to survive was to remain one step ahead of everyone else. His calculated risk-taking, his ability to read a room, and his unwavering determination to control every aspect of his environment ensured that he was always in command. The dramatic narrative of Cisco's life was further enriched by the many rivalries and betrayals that marked his journey. When ambitious lieutenants sought to usurp his authority, Cisco's response was both swift and decisive. His enemies often found themselves vanishing without a trace, disappearing in a manner that left behind only whispers and unanswered questions. The infamous foo incident during one of Sonny's arrests is just one example of how Cisco maintained his grip on power. Even when the leadership of the club was thrown into disarray, he remained an unassailable force, a silent puppeteer orchestrating the downfall of those who dared challenge him. By the early 1990s, the landscape of Oakland's underworld had transformed dramatically. The power structures that once seemed immutable began to tremble, like a house of cards teetering on the brink of collapse. Yet, amidst the chaos, Cisco's influence only deepened. His security company dominated the Bay Area film industry, a testament to his ability to blend legitimate business ventures with the ruthless codes of outlaw life. Every move he made was calculated, every alliance a strategic maneuver designed to secure his position. As rivalries flared and new threats emerged, Cisco's name became the rallying cry of those who knew that true power was never given. It was earned through relentless determination. The narrative of Elliot Cisco Valderrama's life is, in many ways, a blueprint for the modern outlaw. His legacy is built on the delicate interplay of fear and loyalty, a system where the slightest misstep could lead to ruin, and every moment was a battle for survival. Throughout his decades-long reign, Cisco demonstrated that power is not something that can be taken by force alone. It must be cultivated with precision, nurtured through calculated risks, and maintained through a constant cycle of control and influence. Again and again he would remind both friend and foe, his mantra echoing through the halls of the Oakland clubhouse: "True power is built, never seized." In reflecting on his storied career, one cannot help but notice the recurring themes of transformation and duality. Cisco was both a man of the streets and a figure of cinematic legend, a living paradox who navigated two worlds with ease. On one hand, he was the intimidating leader who ruled with an iron fist, commanding respect through fear. On the other, he was a visionary who understood the importance of subtlety and finesse, someone who could seamlessly transition from the gritty reality of outlaw life to the glitzy corridors of Hollywood. This duality was at the core of his appeal, and it remains a subject of fascination for anyone who dares to delve into the annals of outlaw history. As the years wore on, even the most hardened members of the Oakland Hells Angels came to recognize that Elliot Cisco Valderama was not merely a kingpin or a rogue enforcer, he was an institution in his own right. His methods, his strategies, and his unyielding will became the standard by which all others were measured. In club meetings, his mere presence was enough to quiet dissent and command unwavering attention. His ability to project authority, even in the face of overwhelming opposition, was a testament to the power of his persona. It was said that when Cisco entered a room, time itself seemed to slow, and every eye turned to him in silent awe. But no empire, no matter how seemingly invincible, is immune to the relentless march of time. By 2014, as health complications began to catch up with him, the once indomitable figure of Elliot Cisco Valderama faced his final ride. On February 6, 2014, after decades of dominating Oakland's underworld and leaving an indelible mark on both the outlaw and film communities, he succumbed to respiratory complications. His passing was not just the end of a life, it was the closing chapter of a saga that had reshaped the very fabric of an entire subculture. Yet even in death, the ghost of Cisco's influence haunted the streets of Oakland. Former rivals and allies alike continued to speak his name in hushed tones, as if every whispered recollection might rekindle the fierce storm he had once commanded. In the end, Elliot Cisco Valderrama's legacy is one of contrasts, of a man who could be both visionary and executioner, both a master strategist and a ruthless enforcer. His life was a perpetual loop of ambition and retribution, a relentless pursuit of power that transcended the boundaries of legality and morality. He transformed every setback into an opportunity, every challenge into a stepping stone toward absolute control. His story is a reminder that in the world of outlaws, true power is never handed over. It is forged in the crucible of relentless determination and the cold calculus of survival. For those who dare to ask what it truly means to wield power, Elliot Cisco Valderrama's life offers a stark and unforgettable lesson. It is a tale of ambition and ingenuity set against the backdrop of a harsh and unforgiving world. A world where every whispered secret and every silent threat was a reminder that true influence is built over time, again and again. As his legend endures, the echoes of his actions continue to shape the legacy of Oakland's underworld. a testament to a man who never backed down, never hesitated, and never lost sight of his ultimate vision. Even as time marches forward, the story of Elliot Cisco Valderama remains a beacon for those who believe in the raw, unyielding power of determination. In the annals of outlaw history, his name is etched not merely as a leader or a criminal, but as a symbol of a bygone era when the streets were ruled by men who understood that the key to survival was to build an empire where fear and loyalty danced together in a perpetual loop. And so, the legend lives on, a reminder that while empires may crumble and times may change, the indomitable spirit of those who dare to control their own destiny endures. In the quiet corners of Oakland's darkened alleys where the echoes of past glories still whisper through the night, the legacy of Elliot Cisco Valderama continues to inspire awe and trepidation. His life, a tapestry woven with threads of violence, loyalty, and strategic brilliance, remains a powerful testament to the fact that true power, once built, can never truly fade. It lingers in the hushed conversations of those who remember, a ghostly refrain that calls out, again and again, "Remember me." And as long as there are those who walk the fine line between respect and fear, his story will be told. A story that, like the relentless roar of a motorcycle engine on a midnight road, will never be silenced.